What's going on, everyone? Welcome. This is another Discord Friday. I appreciate everybody for being here. If you're brand new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my videos. And guys, Discord Fridays, when I go over on Discord, I take pictures off to let you know what I would do differently or not at all. Sometimes we learn, like today, we use people's palettes for a learning tool for others to learn. So thank you guys for posting, even though you are building good palettes. And that Discord is free. Click it in the description below. Let's get on to Discord Friday. All right, guys, so the first prediction. All right, so the first picture, oh my God. So the first picture we're going to look at is this one right here. Jeremy posted this from his warehouse. Guys, there's so many things I hate about this stuff is people look just to take shortcuts on everything they could possibly do. Now, it could be just them taking shortcuts, or it could be that they weren't properly trained. I don't know. But when I see something like this, it's a person that really don't give a crap what the outcome is. As long as they get it to the dock, they don't care if it falls over. That is the mentality whenever I see something like this. Now, it's okay to column stack dairy, guys, if you do not have a lot. Like if this pallet ended right here, I'd column stack it, be done with it, call it a day. We're not stacking it too high, but this is an easy time, guys. So I don't even mind the column stacking this up to right here. But as soon as I would have got to this juice, I would have started my cross and T method that I talk about. I don't mind when you have a lot of the same cases like this. I don't mind column stacking it. But when you have the opportunity to go to my cross and T method, it is going to start tying in this column stack base. And what we decided to do is try to even it out and throw a pallet up there, which I don't like this, guys. I don't like breaker pallets unless it's on top of something solid like bananas or potatoes. But when you're putting it on top of something like yogurt, guys, this wood is just going to dig into the yogurt cups, and they're just little paper lids on there, all right? They're going to crack the lids, they're going to rip them open, and they're not going to be sellable. It takes a little pride in your work is all I'm saying, because even this is it's stacked okay. I'm like, why couldn't we just stack this right on top of this? I don't know. People always looking for the easy way out, and then we're not level. So we're actually, this pallet is digging into a lot of cases. Guys, if you're compromising cases to put a breaker pallet on, then it is not the proper way of doing things. So this could have been prevented just by right here at the juices. I would have turned both of these big juices facing in. Yeah, we would have had just maybe about a little lip hanging over, but I told you that's a form of tying in because we're taking weight off the corner and bringing it to the middle section. So I would have turned both these big boxes of juices in, and I would have thought I would not need the breaker pallet, I promise you, and I would have started my cross and T method on top of this. This is someone that, like I said, either don't care or they weren't trained properly. Now, I want to go over this person's palette all the way around because this is beautiful, and I'm not putting myself up there with this person, but this is exactly how I stack. Guys, so I tell you all the time in the warehouse, when you get a pallet that is like chest high or lower, you should be gone. All right. Those are the pallets that you're making up time on, and you're going to try to get a little bit ahead of the game. When you get this is like probably a 280, 290 pallet. A lot of cases on this pallet. When I hear that and I hear I got two full pallets, I am taking my time. I might only get a 95% on this or even pushing 100, but I am trying to take my time because I know I got two full pallets. I want to try to make this, it doesn't have to look pretty, but at the same time, the better you stack, let's just go through this. I love how we focused on keeping light cases on the front pallet, and everything that's a little bit odds and evens, we put it on the back pallet. Keeping something simple, and we'll put a little bit more effort into this one. But just a great, separate guys. These little gaps in between the Shasta down here, I cannot tell you how important that is. These little gaps is what you want on your bottom base. If you're not filling out that whole layer, you need to separate your cases. And then on your next layer up, we're going to compact everything back in again. And since these are minimal gaps, we just tied this in perfectly. And then when we get up here, guys, we go right to the basics. Bigger cases on the look how everything's facing it. You don't see no cases like this in this part of the pallet. We're keeping the bigger cases on the corners facing in. We're just doing a great job. I mean, let's look at the back pallet. Guys, when you have this all ties in, we can layer it out. This does not all tie in. We're going to column stack. I would do this the exact same way. You don't want to put these Hellmans down next to each other if you can column stack them. When you have a lot of different size cases, you want to column stack at least 2 high to try to get that base started. When you start layering different size cases out, it is not going to work out well for you, I promise you. This is exactly how you want to do this. Big hot sauce, it looks like, on the corner, Hawaiian punch on the back corner, coconut water, keeping the bigger cases on the corners. I mean, just, I love it. There's a couple slip sheets in here, which I got no problem. I told you on a couple videos ago that some people get carried away with slip sheets. 1 slip sheet per pallet midway up is all you should be using. All right, here's the other side of this. Let's go right through it, guys. Once again, this side tied in nice, guys. What did I tell you? These tees, these individual tees, that's exactly where I would put them. I don't like them on my corner because they're small and they tend to slide sometimes. I like how we got our big wrapped up, like, your LaCroix are wrapped up. This is wrapped up, so it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be less likely to slide than these. Perfectly done. Right up to the next layer, just perfectly done. I love this whole palette. Waters in the middle. Now, up towards the front, I don't mind putting my waters on the corner as long as it's up higher towards the front, but I love where you place the waters at. We got a slight lean, minimal lean. I love it. Just great. Keeping the Arizona tees together. I mean, just a great job. Keeping the higher case on the outside, lower case. I promise you guys, high corners, low inside is one of the biggest things you can take away from my channel. Keeping light cases together. See how we did this? So we probably had 6 of these helmets, because on the other side we had 2 also. So we probably had 6 helmets, and we stacked 2, 2, and 2 right across, 3 across, and then we stacked 3 more right on top. I love that. That's going to give you that nice solid front we're looking for, and then you just stack this stuff until you come pretty much even. I love this. I mean, this palette is just awesome. We got 1 case in that part of the palette I don't like, but it worked out because they pretty much 99% of this is just sticking to the basics. Let's just keep going around this palette. This order is just beautiful. All right, so here's the front of that palette. There's really not much to say. We got a slip sheet in here, which I like, midway through the palette. And look, guys, what do you see? That's the cross and tee to the freaking definition of it. We established a base. Now we're going to do all cases pointing in with a slender middle. I promise you, especially in dry goods and dairy, this is the way you need to build. Establish a base and go right to my cross and tee method. All right, here it is. All right, I love it, I love it, I love it. So here, 3 across the front, and we just column stack them up to make sure that we establish that nice, strong front. I have that video out saying you need a strong front and a strong back with a weak middle. That's all we want to focus on. So we don't want this rocking going on whenever we're driving. But look at how all the guys, it's a simple base. These are all different cases. This case coming in, that little lip right there is tying in, and then we kept weight on top of it. And I love how we didn't look. So we didn't want this to get unstable. We got a slip sheet in here. I love it, man. Everything about this palette. Now, right here, I probably would have kept coming in, but that's what makes us different. This box here, the jelly, I probably would have kept coming in, but I love what they did. They got the slip sheet in there to help tie everything together. Pickles, guys. All right, we got the slip sheet, the pickles. See how we got a column going here? And then these pickles are taking weight off of the corner. It's bringing it over. And then we stuck the Arizona tee on top of it, turn these pastas on their sides so we're not up too high at the top of the palette. I love it. Just a great job. You did fantastic work. And I even said that on Discord. All right, guys. So here we got Hawaiian punch. We got the salt on the corner. We got a little hole right here. I mean, we probably could have separated these a little bit, but it's not a big deal because we got our slip sheet in here and we're not compromising anything. We got a case leaning in here, but once again, guys, what are we going to, this case isn't going to do nothing. We don't have, the only time that this case, all right, I believe this is what, those V8s or whatever, is going to compromise the integrity of your pallet is if you put weight directly on the lowest point. We got weight on the highest point. So anytime you have a case in the slant like this on an angle, Do not put direct weight on the lowest point, because what happens, even though you got a heavy corner over here, if you put a heavy thing right in this low point, it's going to be enough to start pushing this over. I love these up high. These are those little jammers. Keep them up high. Keep them on a corner. Do not stack on them if you don't have to. Keeping light cases together. I could go on and on about this pallet. I mean, just beautifully done. Guys, here's another beautiful pallet. This is a different person. This person posts a lot. Keep the bags together, guys. Do not layer out these bags. When you have very minimal bags, you do not want to layer them out. You want to keep them together. They are problem cases because they are bags. They have movable contents in there. So when you stack on them, even though these are probably more solid, when you stack on them, there's a chance for the contents to move around. So why would you want to stack on two of them? Just stack on one. And then you could do that by column stacking. And then immediately on the next row, what do you notice? High corner, low inside. So you might get out of your realm of being level, but as soon as you could start getting the high corners and low inside again, your pallet is going to look like this. I do not mind these cans up like this. It's helping to keep this column and this column from shifting back and forth, and there is zero weight on top of those cans, so there is no chance of them getting damaged. We tied in the top just to lock everything together. Big long case coming in, guys. The evaporated milk in this over here looks like just a cheaper brand of evaporated milk. Big, long, flat cases. I always think corner facing in because it ties your corner into the middle of your pallet. They are perfect cases to tie. Remember, we don't care about tying in the length of the pallet. We want to tie in this way. This middle of this pallet is our best friend. These big flat cases we want coming towards this. We do not want them running the length of the pallet. Just another beautiful pallet. I love the base with the domino sugar. Let's get on to the last picture. All right, guys, so I added this on here, and this person's actually a really good builder, and they said this is mixing cold with warm. So I guess if you work in like a Walmart area or anything Publix where you're driving from, you guys have everything all in one area. So you can literally, from one section of the warehouse, you can be in the dry goods, you can drive over to the perishable, and you can drive over to the freezer. Well, from what I'm taking from what you posted, you said this is dry and perishable mixed together. So I selected perishable, then they had me go over and grab dry. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think anything cold, and I know these are all going on refrigerated trucks, but you have, like, how long are you grabbing something out of the perishable side and going over to the warm side? I'm sure or did you go, yeah, and look, because this is dry stuff up here. So did you grab your perishable stuff? Although you have tomatoes up here, it looks like. Leave in the comment section below exactly how this worked out. I don't agree with it, so I get the frustration. I'm not even going to go over this person's palette because I've been there and done that, where they give you some bull crap that they want you to work, and you're just like, come on. Not only do I have to go from the dry to the perishable warehouse, but you're going to tell me that I only have a certain amount of time to do it, and it's one pallet? Was this all one pallet as well? Because this is ridiculous. You're not trained. I guarantee your work does not train you to go from one side to the other. They tell you that you should only be throwing in the freezer, you should only be throwing in perishable, you should only be throwing in dry goods, and then they go and throw mix up on you like this. But give me a little bit more information on this, on exactly how you selected. I'm curious if you went from perishable, because I see tomatoes up here, but I see dry stuff up here, and I don't know what this stuff is down here, but there's berries right here. Did they have you go from perishable to dry, and then you came back for scratches? Or no, well, tomatoes are in our perishable building, so that's why I'm saying that. Your tomatoes very well may be in your dry building. I'm not 100% sure, but nonetheless, they shouldn't be having you do this. But this is warehouses that want to fill out their pallets as much as possible and take as much room up on that truck as much as possible without sending out multiple trucks. All right, guys, that's Discord Friday. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Please keep posting your pictures over on Discord, and you guys will be on a future Friday. Have a great weekend. I'll see you later.